Martin Blue. Increasingly, over the past several months, I've noticed an increase in expressions of religious and political belief from friends and acquaintances. These mostly come in the form of encouragement or commiseration. I've been or will be praying for you, and similar sentiments. Turn to the Lord and He will help you through your difficulty. Sometimes there is an accompanying lecture on some variation of religious dogma. I'm beginning to take offense at the presumptuous nature of these communications. I'm being given a lecture with the assumption that I accept and agree with the underlying belief, or that common courtesy obligates me to listen. The sender of the message cloaks him or herself in the unarguable righteousness of pious goodwill that deserves no disagreement. I'm sure that such lecturers have a lifetime of reinforcement within their corners of our culture to make them feel that they are being quote-unquote good people, but I'm starting to see it as just plain rude. What is my question? How can a person caught in this manners conundrum cut through such rudeness and deliver a rational and frank response? With some people it seems effortless. They don't care what anyone else thinks and seem to earn respect for that. This seems like mature adulthood 101. How do some of us fail it so badly? Your thoughts? Yeah, this is a rough one. Manners are sort of social lubricant, right? They sort of ease human relationships and make things go a little smoother when you're willing to sit there quietly and listen to what somebody has to say. And this is not, I'm not talking about like an argument or debate, but just a normal conversation. And sometimes people feel very strongly about their religious beliefs, and they feel that whether they do or don't know that you're a strong believer or a non-believer, they feel very righteous about their beliefs and that this is their view of reality and how the world is. And so they feel obligated, really, from their own moral sense, to communicate or express their condolences or feelings or ideas about whatever the issue is at hand. And to a certain degree, that's fine. I mean, in any social situation, there's nothing wrong with that, particularly if a person is taking a couple sentences maybe and expressing some feeling toward you of goodwill or hope or something like that. I think there is a point where you could draw a line without creating too much upset or disagreement, or yourself turning around and going on a rant about what they're saying. Probably not necessary in most social situations. If it's a really good friend or somebody that you are close to, then you can have a deeper conversation. But if it's just a social interaction, you can simply say, thank you very much, I really appreciate your sentiments. I don't happen to be a believer, so that doesn't particularly mean as much to me as it does to you, but I very much appreciate you expressing your condolences or feelings, or how you feel about this. Or thank you for trying to lighten my load or make me feel better. I really appreciate it. And maybe that thanks is enough to just kind of cut it off. And usually after about 30 to 45 seconds of somebody expressing that at you, depending, of course, on how fast they're talking, certainly within a couple minutes, you've gotten the point. And they pretty much are going to know you got the point. And if they just kind of keep going, then you can just go, you can hold your hand up. You could say, excuse me. You could start sort of passive-aggressively looking around and paying attention to other things than what they're saying, right? So it's clear that you're not really, they don't really have your full attention anymore. You're directing your attention to other places. They'll kind of get that not so subtle cue, right? If they're paying any attention at all. And you can generally kind of weave yourself out of that situation using those kind of tactics. But if you feel the need, if this is a repetitive thing with someone, or it seems like they're trying to now proselytize to you, it's completely and totally within your rights and completely socially acceptable to say, thank you very much, but I don't have the same belief system you do, and I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't proselytize to me or preach to me or communicate more to me than the sentiments you wish to express, because I'm not really very interested in hearing about your beliefs, because they're your beliefs, but they're not mine. And maybe, sometime we could have a conversation about that, but right now in this place and this time, that's not really my thing, and that might be, for 99% of people out there, that should definitely get across. If it doesn't, you have every right to start being more aggressive in your communication. I don't know that you have to cross a borderline into outright blatant rudeness, but you're certainly within your rights if someone is insisting on proselytizing to you or communicating their, thoughts and prayers in a long speech or something, to simply say, look, I really want you to stop. It's just not cool with me. I didn't ask you to express this to me. I really appreciate the goodwill or the condolences or whatever, but I really want you to stop. It's making me uncomfortable. It's not at all it's not helping me, and it's not something I want to have a conversation about, And of course it would depend on the social situation that you're in as to how you would go about, saying something like that. But you get the point that it's putting some finality into your communication. Like, it's very clear, I don't want to listen to this anymore. And if at that point they're still insisting, and it's getting kind of weird, because at that point it would just be kind of really awkward and weird, just walk away. Literally, just walk away. Just turn your back. We're done. And that's what it is. And if it's a relative and you fear offending them or something, well, they should kind of be afraid of offending you too. Like, that's a two-way street. And offense is something that a person, most of the time, kind of just makes up themselves. This might be a controversial statement, but offense is not, if I say something and you take offense at it, well, that's you taking offense at it. It's not necessarily me giving you something offensive. But if you have communicated to me, look, I really want you to stop communicating along that line to me. I find it offensive, or I don't want to hear it, or I find it contrary to my beliefs, or I'm just not interested. And they continue doing it. Okay, well, shut them down, because that's, there's no reason why you have to keep listening to that. And if they get offended over that, you could say, well, I found it offensive that you kept communicating that to me when I didn't want to hear it. And we're in a social situation right now. This isn't like I didn't go to you to be preached to or be preached at, or, we're not in a church here. I don't go to church for a reason. Like, you can say things like that to sort of smooth the waters a little bit, but in the end, you got to put your foot down. And that should really only have to happen once, or maybe twice, with someone who's really kind of fanatical. But really, you do that once or twice, and people will get the message. And if they decide to, get so upset over that one thing that they don't want to be your friend anymore or talk to you anymore or something like that, well, that's probably somebody who's better not around in your life, even if it's a relative. Just, hey, take a break. That's how I look at it. I know that's 100% just my take on it. I'm not Mr. Manners. I'm not trying to present myself that way. I'm just kind of giving you what I would do. And anyway, I hope that helps.